The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, according to latest reports, tourist arrivals for the first 25 days of this month exceeds the 143,000 mark, with significant contributions from Indian and European visitors. Sri Lankan Airlines celebrates 45 years of soaring success since its debut, establishing itself as one of South Asia's premier international airlines. It's been a week of losses at the Colombo Stock Exchange, with all 5 trading days ending in a downturn due to persistent negative sentiment and raising investor concerns. And Apple and chip giant Nvidia reportedly are in talks to invest in OpenAI as part of a new fundraising round that could value the ChatGPT maker above $100 billion.
From Studio 24, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. According to the latest report released by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, 143,622 tourists arrived in the country during the first 25 days of this month, indicating a steady flow of visitors during this period. This figure reflects the growing appeal of Sri Lanka as a travel destination, known for its rich cultural heritage, beautiful landscapes and diverse wildlife.
The country continues to attract tourists from various regions of the world, showcasing its ability to bounce back as a forward destination for international travelers. With this influx of visitors, the total number of tourists who have visited Sri Lanka in 2024 has reached an impressive mark of 1,341,681. This cumulative figure highlights a significant recovery and growth in tourism, especially following the global challenges faced by the industry in recent years due to the COVID-19 pandemic and other disruptions. The sustained increase in tourist numbers is a positive indicator of the confidence that international travelers have in the country, safety, hospitality and appeal. During the first 25 days of this month alone, 19.5% of arrivals or 27,999 tourists were from India. In addition to the Indian tourists, significant numbers of visitors came from other key markets as well. The United Kingdom accounted for 15,918 arrivals, making it the second largest source of tourists during this period. Furthermore, there has been a notable increase in the number of tourists from various European countries. In addition to the United Kingdom and Germany, countries such as Italy, France have shown marked rise in tourist numbers during this period.
Marking a historic milestone in the coconut industry, the Ceylon Chamber of Coconut Industries announced its inauguration yesterday. The inception was marked with the inaugural meeting held yesterday at the National Chamber of Commerce.
As the first organization of its kind in Sri Lanka, the CCCI aims to harness the vast potential of the nation's coconut industry. The industry contributes significantly to the economy, with annual export revenues exceeding $800 million. By fostering collaboration across all industry sectors, the CCCI aspires to elevate Sri Lankan coconut products' quality and global competitiveness, targeting an export revenue of $1.5 billion. Notably, the formation of the CCCI has been facilitated by the United Nations Industrial Development Organization within the scope of the European Union-funded BESPA Food Project and Ernst & Young. This collaboration is poised to propel Sri Lanka's coconut sector to new global heights of prosperity. The coconut industry, often hailed as the backbone of rural Sri Lanka, occupies approximately 455,000 hectares of land and provides livelihoods for nearly 1 million people. The CCCI will focus on enhancing the industry's competitiveness through strategic planning, market expansion, and research-driven innovation. By promoting sustainable practices and supporting product diversification, the Chamber aims to position Sri Lanka as a global leader in coconut production.
Sri Lanka's inflation is expected to average around 3% in 2024, a significant decrease from last year. In August, inflation is projected to slow to 1.9% due to lower food prices and a 22.5% reduction in electricity tariffs. These changes are contributing to lower overall consumer costs and a more stable economic environment.
The Colombo Consumer Price Index is expected to show a slowdown in annual inflations to 1.9% in August, down from 2.4% the previous month. On a month-to-month basis, consumer prices are anticipated to have decreased by 0.5% from July. Food prices are estimated to have fallen by 1% compared to the previous month. When they experience a slight increase of 0.1%, the forecast is based on recent weekly retail price data. On July 16th, the government reduced electricity tariffs by 22.5%, a move driven by lower operational cost and a higher contribution from renewable energy sources. Bloomberg's economic projects inflation will average around 3% for the year, a significant drop from 20.5% recorded in 2023. At an event on Monday, Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe affirmed that the central bank's monetary policy remains accommodative in response to reduced inflationary pressures. Dr. Veerasinghe indicated that according to current projects, inflation is expected to stay well below 5% target until the first quarter of 2025, with a return to the target level anticipated later in 2025.
Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. It's another challenging day at the Colombo stock market with no consistent signs of recovery. Both indices ended the day in the red, marking a downturn for the market. For a detailed summary of today's market performance, let's now turn to Tharusha Ashogar from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. So the Colombo Stock Exchange continued its downward trend today for the 10th consecutive day. And the market was more likely a volatile swing today, driven by political uncertainty and subdued investor sentiment. So the all-share price index continued to close the day lower at 10,869, marking a 39-point drop from the previous day, whilst the S&P SL20 index also fell by 7 points to close at 3,059. So the decline was largely driven by losses in Hatton National Bank and the John Keells Holdings, which weighed down the index today. Also, investor participation fell today compared to yesterday's and turnover recording at 759 million rupees, marking a 8% decrease from the monthly average. And the food, beverage and tobacco sector dominated the turnover, contributing 32%, while the banking sector contributed 30% to the overall turnover. And also looking at the top gainers for the day, mainly were Blue Diamonds Jewellery voting share, Res Agro non-voting and Orient Finance. And looking at the top losers for the day were SMB Finance non-voting, the Fortress Resorts and Sufflogic Finance PLC.
It's been a full week of losses at Colombo Stock Exchange, unable to recover from persistent negative sentiment. All 5 trading days concluded with the market in a downturn, raising investor concerns. For a comprehensive wrap-up of the week, let's now connect with Netmi Fernando from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you. The ASPI commenced the week on a negative note, recording 11,200, losing 162 points, registering a 5-month low on the back of price declines across all sectors. Further towards the week, ASPI continued its downward trajectory, backed by the uncertainty surrounding the political climate in the country. Towards midweek, the market failed to recover, recording a continuous loss as selected banking sector shares and blue-chip companies exerted negative pressure on the market, dragging the index further down. Towards the latter part of the week, ASPI recorded at 10,869 on the negative territory for the 10th consecutive session, losing 39 points with a dull sentiment amid selling pressure. The turnover remained relatively low throughout the week, as the turnover during the day was recorded at LKR 759.5 million, 7.7% lower than the monthly average of LKR 822.5 million. Limited off-board transactions were recorded during the week, with weak high net worth participation, as retail participation too remained relatively low amidst moderate trades. Foreign investors turned net buyers, recording a net inflow of LKR 0.3 million amidst very low participation.
Gold prices experienced a slight decline today, although they remain on track to secure a second consecutive monthly gain. This positive momentum is largely attributed to growing expectations that the Federal Reserve may cut interest rates in the coming month. Traders are also closely monitoring upcoming U.S. inflation data for further insights into future market directions. Specifically, spot gold, which reflects the current market value of the metal, was down by 0.1%, trading at $2,519.60 per ounce. Despite this minor drop, gold has seen a 3% increase over the course of this month, underscoring its overall upward trend. Similarly, U.S. gold futures, which are contracts that obligate the buyer to purchase gold at a predetermined price in the future, fell by 0.3% to $2,553.30. Oil prices rose today as investors weighed supply concerns in Libya and Iraq, although signs of weakened demand, particularly in China, limited gains. Brent crude futures for October delivery, which expired today, were up 39 cents or 0.5% at $80.33 a barrel. The more actively traded contract for November rose 34 cents or 0.4% to $79.16. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 30 cents or 0.4% to $76.21. Both benchmarks settled more than $1 higher yesterday on oil supply concerns, up 1.6% and 1.8% respectively for the week so far. More than half of Libya's oil production, or about 700,000 barrels per day, was offline yesterday, and exports were halted at several ports following a standoff between rival political factions. The Sri Lankan rupee remained steady against the US dollar at commercial banks in Sri Lanka today compared to yesterday. According to People's Bank, the buying and selling rates of the US dollar remained at 294 rupees and 73 cents and 305 rupees and 31 cents respectively. Now we'll take a look at how the rupee performed against the other global currencies. A short break now, corporate updates right after this. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. The Complast and Rubber Expo 2024 kicked off today at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall. This event, organized by Smart Expos and Fairs India Private Limited and co-organized by the Plastics and Rubber Institute of Sri Lanka, will run until the 1st of September.
The event also receives support from the Industrial Development Board. The key sponsors included Sigabura Machine India, SDD Polymers, Lanka IOC, FMJ Plastics, Actel Innovative and NCS Holdings. The expo will take place over a 3-day period, drawing a sensational gathering of over 300 industry experts and representatives from over 200 from plastics, rubber and packaging sectors. The event's focus on recycling align greatly with the country's long-term goals of circular economies and sustainable development. Complast and Rubber Expo 2024 offered attendees unparalleled opportunities for growth and diversification, and this included key advice and knowledge for setting up their own plastic and rubber factories from top manufacturers and suppliers. The exhibitions also emphasized the paramount importance of sustainability, particularly in the context of recycling in Sri Lanka. Attendees were able to learn about the innovative recycling technology and help reduce waste and significant economic benefits that can be gained. Attendees also had an opportunity to network with international manufacturers and explore opportunities to be their local representatives.
Sri Lankan Airlines is celebrating 45 years of flying high since its debut in September of 1979 with just 2 Boeing 707s. Through challenges and triumphs, the airline has consistently embodied the warmth of Sri Lankan hospitality worldwide.
Over the years, Sri Lankan Airlines have showcased its versatility in a consistently evolving and challenging environment. Today, it stands as one of the South Asia's leading international airlines, having achieved numerous milestones and accolades along the way. Chairman Mr. Ashok Patharage remarked that 45 years is a significant achievement in any industry, and reaching this milestone in the commercial airline sector is particularly remarkable. As one of the oldest commercial airlines in the region, Sri Lankan Airlines takes immense pride in its 45-year journey, navigating numerous challenges while steadfastly supporting its loyal customers and Sri Lanka through all its highs and lows. Offering convenient connections to 114 destinations across 62 countries, Sri Lankan Airlines maintains a direct route network that spans major cities in Europe, Australia, the Middle East, the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, and the Far East. The airline operates an all-Airbus fleet, including wide-bodied A330s, A321s, and mid-range A320s.
A-Trade, Sri Lanka's premier platform for online stock trading and stockbroker back-office solutions, went live in Nepal at the Nepal Stock Exchange and successfully completed the first set of live orders.
Renowned for its excellence, A-Trade empowers clients with real-time remote order placements, portfolio management, advanced analytics, and seamless transactions, setting the benchmark for reliability and quality. With a dominant presence on the Colombo Stock Exchange, A-Trade, the strategic business unit of Iron-On Technologies, commands an impressive 90% market share in stock trading. Over 80% of trade initiations on the CSE originate from the A-Trade platform, underscoring its leadership in the field. The Nepal Stock Exchange sought to technologically advance third-party stock trading platform to support its growing capital market. A-Trade emerged as a standout choice, surpassing numerous competitors, with its selection officially announced in May 2023. Partnering with Nepalese firm DigiHub, A-Trade has successfully onboarded 70% of the country's exclusive brokerage firms, further solidifying its position in the market. A-Trade has set its sights on conquering global markets, with its successful entry into the Nepalese market, marking the first step in this ambitious journey.
Yesterday, for the first time in Sri Lankan cultural history, oud made using agar wood was presented to the international community. This event was held at the Pinnathana showroom located in Nugegoda.
This perfume range named Makara, Swarnahansa, Panchahari and Kandula was launched under the brand name Unandua at the Pinthana showroom in Nugegoda, highlighting the Sri Lankan culture. This event marked a historic moment as it was the first time a brand with a single letter reached an international audience, marking the occasion exceptionally significant. As Sri Lanka embarks on a journey toward an era of economic development, this remarkable creation, conceived under the vision of Deshabandhu Kumar Dharmasena, showcases Sri Lankan culture to the world through 4 distinct names. This launch of unique and distinctive fragrances marked a significant milestone for Pinthana. It was a celebration of Ireland's ability to produce a market of globally respected product deeply rooted in the culture and identity of Sri Lanka. Pinthana Oud is also planning to open more than 10 showrooms this year and will soon introduce a range of new commercial oud-related products to the market.
SLIIT has announced 2 significant additions to its roster of international partner universities and expanding its SLIIT Global Pathways program. This initiative offers Sri Lankan students unprecedented access to world-class education from 3 globally renowned institutions.
The University of Edinburgh, a prestigious institution in Scotland, and the University of Western Australia, a top-ranked university in Perth, joined the existing partnership with the University of Queensland from the SLIIT Global Pathways. The SLIIT Global Pathways program stands out for its collaboration with universities consistently ranked among the best in the world. According to the QS World University Rankings 2024, the University of Edinburgh ranks 22nd globally, and the University of Queensland stands at the 43rd, while the University of Western Australia is placed at the 90th position. Additionally, through SLIIT Global Pathways, students benefit from scholarship opportunities, including a 25% scholarship for those continuing to the University of Queensland. The expansion marks a vital breakthrough for Sri Lankan students as it opens up new avenues for class education, broadening their horizons and in an increasingly interconnected global world.
Let's take a short commercial break. Global updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian stocks rose today as technology stocks recovered from Nvidia-induced losses, while month-end bargain buying saw Chinese shares rebound from more than 6-month lows. China's Shanghai Shenzhen CCI 300 and Shanghai Composite indexes rose 1% and 0.5% and were among the better performers for the day, although they were still set to lose between 3% and 4% in August. But Hong Kong stocks vastly outperformed their Asian counterparts this month, with the Hang Seng Index rising 1.1% today and remaining on track for a 2.6% gain in August. Japan's Nikkei 225 and Topix indexes rose about 0.7% and 0.6% respectively. The Dow notched a record high close in mixed trading following robust U.S. economic data, while artificial intelligence chipmaker Nvidia dropped after its largely inline forecast failed to impress investors' expectations.
The Dow notched another record high close on Thursday, while the Nasdaq was dragged lower by shares of Nvidia after a forecast from the AI chip darling failed to impress investors. The Dow added 0.6%, the S&P 500 was flat, and the Nasdaq dipped marginally. Even though Nvidia reported earnings late Wednesday that beat estimates, its quarterly revenue forecast disappointed investors who have grown accustomed to blowout results. Nvidia's stock fell more than 6%, trimming this year's gains to 137%. Other AI-related stocks were mixed. Shares of Microsoft gained, while Google owner Alphabet dipped. Apple rose about 1.5% after Citigroup named the iPhone maker its top AI pick. Among other movers, shares of Dollar General slumped a whopping 32% after the company slashed its annual sales and profit forecast. Investors now turn their attention to Friday's personal consumption expenditures report for July, which could offer hints on the trajectory of the Federal Reserve's upcoming rate cuts.
Apple and chip giant Nvidia are reportedly in talks to invest in OpenAI as part of a new fundraising round that could value the ChatGPT maker above $100 billion, according to media reports.
OpenAI could soon have some big new backers. Media reports say Apple and Nvidia are in talks to join a new fundraising round for the ChatGPT maker. The Wall Street Journal first reported the iPhone maker's interest, while Bloomberg reported on Nvidia's potential involvement. There was no immediate comment from any of the companies concerned. But OpenAI has become increasingly important to Apple, which is bringing ChatGPT to its phones. The exact amounts that it and others might invest remain undisclosed. Microsoft, which is OpenAI's top strategic investor, is also expected to be involved in the new funding. Overall, it's thought the round could value the chatbot maker at over $100 billion, around $20 billion up on a February estimate. Separately Thursday, OpenAI said ChatGPT now had more than 200 million weekly users. That's double the number late last year, and comes less than 2 years after the bot was launched. The outfit run by Sam Altman says 92% of Fortune 500 companies are now using its products.
Chinese tech giant Huawei reported hefty jumps in the first half revenue and net profit, with smartphone sales robust and its smart car components business also doing well despite the US sanctions.
Huawei enjoyed big jumps in first half revenue and net profit in the first half of the year. The Chinese tech giant said Thursday it saw strong smartphone sales. It also revealed its smart car components business performed well despite US sanctions. Net profit for January to June rose 18% to $7.7 billion as revenue rose more than a third. It was the company's highest revenue for a first half in 4 years. Data from research firm Canalys shows Huawei shipped 22.2 million smartphones in mainland China during the 6 months, a 55% rise from a year earlier. Huawei jumped back into the 5G premium smartphone market last year with its Mate 60 series and this year's high-end P series phones, though most of the sales were confined to its home market. The launches have been celebrated in China as a win over US sanctions enacted in 2019. Washington has prevented the company from accessing advanced US chips and other technology. It sees Huawei as a national security risk, a charge the company denies. US sanctions have since broadened out to cover export bans on highly advanced US chips to all Chinese firms.
And with that, we mark the end of the final bulletin for this week. We'll see you again on Monday with the latest happenings across the business globe. Until then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.